6. The public shall be provided means by which to monitor and act upon all of the above, and to cause to be enacted through their own direct, unimpeded effort, legal legislation of the concepts that they deem worthy of being law. The means by which the voting public shall be able to conveniently and effectively express all of their opinions regarding their governance, and be regularly notified by way of the internet of the activities of their elected officials by said elected officials as required in any section of this document, and to learn of and act upon anything else mentioned in any of the sections of this document within the guidelines stated below, will be by way of a joint governmental and publicly supplied and maintained website, whereupon both parties are, under all circumstances, equally represented in all manner. Furthermore, the people's usage of said website to express their opinions regarding desired legislation shall not be limited to that which has been or shall be mentioned in this document, unless such limitations are specifically mentioned in this document. Said website shall be available at all times to be used by the voting public as a tool, though not the only tool, through which they can easily and in clear language gain the full legal disclosure of all that is required by law of their elected officials, and through which they, the voting public, can effectively and efficiently propagate concepts that they wish to have enacted as state and or federal law. When at least 1 million of the voting public within a given state of the Union vote on said website in favor of a particular action to be taken regarding an issue of their state, and or at least 1 million of the voting public of at least 34 states of the Union vote on said website in favor of a particular nationwide action to be taken, said action shall be included on the ballot in the next state and or federal election, and the decision of a 2/3 majority of the voters in a particular state as it regards legislation for that particular state, and or a 2/3 majority of the voters of 2/3 of the state of the Union as it regards legislation of a particular nationwide action to be taken, shall legally decide the legislative course of action to be lawfully enacted by their representatives in such regard, no more than 30 days from the date of said election. Though this shall not in any way supersede or alter any less stringent method of the people's existing right to enact, and or cause to have enacted, desired legislation as it may already exist at the time of the writing of this document. The method by which each member of the voting public shall be able to legally share their ideas with one another, and by which they shall have the legal right and ability to attempt to propagate the concepts that they believe to be fit for legally enforceable legislation in their state of residence and or nationally by way of said website shall be as follows. Each member of the voting public shall be entitled to designate up to, but not more than, 20 other members of the voting public as their, quote, friend. Each member of the voting public shall be able to communicate on said website with only those members of the voting public that they have designated as a friend, except in the case of their communicating with an elected official. And elected officials shall be legally held to the same rules of usage on said website, except in the case of answering a communication they received from a constituent. Said answer must not in any way be used as an opportunity to attempt to propagate any concept that is not specifically related to the communication they received, or they will be considered to be tampering with said website. Each member shall be able to present to their friends any concept that they wish to have enacted into law, unless such concept is commercially motivated, or theologically and or racially exclusionary. Any dissemination of commercially motivated or theologically and or racially exclusionary concepts on said website shall be considered an act of tampering with said website. In the event that any friend agrees that such concepts should be enacted into law, said friend shall vote for it in the simple manner readily supplied with their receipt of the transmission of said concept. And they shall then present the concept to their other friends so that they too can vote on it. The number of votes that each concept has of yet received shall be clearly shown within the presentation of said concept as it is viewed by each new member of the voting public who receives it and has the opportunity to vote on it and to continue to disseminate it. Only when a particular member of the voting public votes in favor of said concept becoming law shall they transmit it further by way of said website. In the event that any concept should receive half of the number of votes required to enable it to be put on the ballot to be enacted legally as law, there shall be within 24 hours of it reaching said number of votes an announcement made in a particular section of said website that is always easily accessible to any member of the voting public that is using said website, and which is devoted solely to the act of clearly and efficiently announcing such an event so that the entire voting public can be aware of it as quickly as possible to consider it and decide on whether or not they wish to take any action in regards to it.